Hi, I'm Michael, your handyman, and on today's segment, we're going to be hanging up two of Kidda's smoke detector or smoke alarm and a carbon monoxide alarm, both by Kidda. And no, I'm not sponsored by Kidda, but this is a very important subject. And I always think it's important for every home and structure to have some sort of fire alarm system that will alert people of a potential fire hazard, smoke, fire in the home, so they have an early warning and then they can get out of the home with their plan that they established to get out. But with that being said, right at this particular residence, the basement, we're going to put in the smoke alarm and, oh, excuse me, correction. The smoke alarm is going to go here and the carbon monoxide alarm is going to go downstairs. So with that being said, let's begin to unbox the product. Let's get it on the wall for the homeowner. Okay, now open it up. Okay, now what you have as you open up the box, you have a user's guide that comes with the box. Of course, the actual detector is in plastic. We're going to set the box down temporarily. We're going to make sure that our homeowner gets the manual so that they can understand everything there is to about this. And we're going to properly date it, because this is rated to be changed every 10 years. Now, coming out of the plastic, this is the mounting bracket, if you want to say, that will get affixed to the ceiling. And yes, it has two I keep saying washers. There I go with those washers. But it has two wall anchors for drywall. And yes, they both detectors came with that. So with that being said, oh, and also I will show you, but I'll show you here as much as I can. It has an inside kind of like shelf that allows for the smoke detector, once you have installed the bracket, to be twisted into the bracket and locked in place. And then this cover, we will pull this off. But with that being said, we're going to first start with mounting our bracket to the wall or the ceiling. Now we're going to grab our drill. We're going to start off with 11/64 and step up to 3/16 with our drill bit in our DeWalt. But first we're gonna mark out. I have a general idea where she wants it, which is right here adjacent to this light, this overhead. And I'm gonna mark out the screw holes with my Sharpie, our trusty Sharpie. Now come on up. Okay. Kind of line it about right there. Yeah, about right there. I will align, get my mark out. say about right there. Now what I'll do is I'll grab my marker. Make my marks. Okay. Now I will grab my drill, my DeWalt drill. Now, as I always like to do, I like to step down first. This particular drill bit first will be 11/64, and then I will step up to what is comparable to the size of the, you know, of the anchor, which is 3/16. And since we are in a residence and we want to keep things neat, I grab the dustpan so that I can try to catch some of that dust, because we don't want that dust getting all over these fine pictures. Now, with that being said, let's begin and put our drill, make sure we're going in the right direction. Okay, now slow. Okay, next one, nice and slow. Okay. So we caught a lot of that dust. Or actually, we caught all of it, because we don't want to get dust on our homeowners' carpeting or pictures. You know, they do a lot to try to keep their things dusted and taken care of. So with that being said, I'm gonna step up to my final drill bit size. Now, let's go a step up, nice and slow. Okay. Now, what we'll do is try to see if our anchors, our drywall anchors, fit. Okay. Now, you know, could have gone a little more. I'm gonna ream that out just a little more. Caught our dust. Get both of our inserts. Now, this is when sometimes when you are using drywall anchors, sometimes you do have to use a little persuasion with a hammer. Not too much, just a little bit. Just to get it up there. Now, our anchors are in. Now let's get our bracket onto the wall or the ceiling. Now we have seen to where is our other screw. Every now and then a screw will get away from you, which it did, but we're gonna locate that screw. Okay, now okay, we have the screw. So now let's continue with placing the bracket onto the wall. Yes, it's pretty tight for me right now because I don't want to move their stuff out of the way, and I'm kind of, moving around that. That's what we do sometimes, Okay, now let's get this bracket onto the wall. I keep saying wall, the ceiling. Okay, the first one. Now, screw it in. Now, I'm not going to over torque these because why? I don't want to blow these. I don't want to blow these, this drywall out. I don't want to crack this bracket. I want it tight. Get the second screw in. Use our ratcheting screwdriver. A little bit more tighter on this side. Okay, now that bracket is firmly attached to the ceiling. Now next we'll do is we will grab our detector, remove the protective case or cover. Now we will go ahead and attach our detector. Can you see that? Okay, now what that first thing, as we twisted it, it engaged the smoke detector. So now let's go ahead and hit our test. And now that smoke detector is ready to protect this resident in case of a fire. So with that being said, all right, we're back. We got the one upstairs installed. And now what we're gonna do is we're coming downstairs in basically the stairwell of the exit point of the basement. So that will be basically a central location for this last and final detector. Now this one will detect carbon monoxide. Because of the fact that this is not drywall, we're going to be going into wood here. But if you were going into drywall, you can follow those same steps that I did when I was upstairs. Now, with that being said, I'm going to take my Sharpie, and this particular unit, what it is is, if you can see the bracket, this is the bracket that gets mounted to the wall. And this is the detector. Now, what will happen is it will line up with the grooves on the back. Well, it'll be turned this way, excuse me. It will line up with the grooves on the back and slide. And once you get it to a point, it locks in, and that way it's on the wall and you don't have to worry about it coming off the wall. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and take it back off so that we can go ahead and get it affixed to the wall for the homeowner. Okay. Now, so double check everything. It never hurts to double check and triple check. Okay. So okay. That is our orientation. We have the proper orientation. Now we put it up on the wall. Now what we're going to use as a level is we're going to use this straight line that's underneath this ridge. And that's going to determine that our product is level. I mean, technically, you can put this on the wall any type of, you can put this on the wall like that. You can put this on the wall upside down, but, you know, aesthetically, you want it to look nice, you know. You don't want somebody come in, what's going on? What was you all, you know, what was you all on when you was having that installed? Okay, now, with that being said, we are going to drill let's see here. Just a little bit, because we don't have to overdo this now because of the fact that we're not going into a drywall. We'll just make a little light cut for pilot for our screws. Okay, now what we'll do next is we will grab the bracket, place the bracket there on the wall, begin to screw. Now, also, again, when we get these up, we're not going to over torque these screws. We just want the bracket on here. We want the bracket on here without giving us a whole lot of trouble. Okay, we're gonna have to step this one out a little bit. Okay, now let's go back for righty-tighty. Now, work on that next one and come back to the second or the first one. I probably could have used a step ladder, but sometimes, again, you don't want the inconvenience the homeowner with bringing a bunch of stuff into the home. Oops. Okay. That last screw is giving us some resistance. Okay, let's come down to the level floor. It's going in. All right. Go to the first one. Back to the second. Now, let's test our kitter. Let's see, okay. Gonna have to have it on the wall, so let's get it on the wall. Let's see. Okay, let's see. We seem to be having some technical difficulties here. We're gonna briefly pause and go back to our operation manual and see what's going on. All right, we're back. What happened was we went back to the service manual, and what happened was you have to have this on here perfect to the bracket and slide it down so that the contacts will make contact with the detector. So now let's begin our test. Okay, it's working. There it is. Hit reset. Now what'll happen is, as you're watching, what'll happen is a green light will continue to flash, letting you know that your detector is safe. And with that being said, I'm on to the next project. I'm Michael, your handyman. Please hit that like and subscribe if you like this content, and have a blessed day. Thank you.